On behalf of all the Sir Thomas and Lady Duncan trustees, past and present, Vicky and I would like to warmly welcome you all to Otairi. To this community, that wasn't in my notes, to this community celebration of the joy of giving, to an afternoon that epitomises our grandparents' philosophy of giving something back. Whoever we may be, and whatever circumstances we find ourselves in, the experience of working for, participating in, contributing to a real human need is a great feeling, and we've got that good feeling here today. For those of you who do not know me, I'm David Duncan, the youngest grandson of T.A. and Jeannie Duncan, and the current chairman of their trust. We are blown away by the support that you have demonstrated, with so many of you making such an effort to come here today. The book we are launching is quite properly dedicated to those two remarkable people, Sir Thomas and Lady Duncan. Like all the other gatherings of the clan that happen here at Otairi in the past, we welcome the Rangitikei Scots Band and thank them from the bottom of our hearts for helping us to make the day special. Granny Duncan was their chieftainess for many years and loved to hear the pipes, as I'm sure she can again today. A special welcome to the whānau and descendants of Otiwhiti and the Raunanga Otiwhiti from whom this land was purchased. To Otiwhiti of this generation, thank you for moving your engagements to be here, and to our friends Paddy and Joe Potaka, sadly Joe did not make it, Gwen and Lucky couldn't make it. But we are delighted to have the other two with us today. Welcome to former trustees who are here, Peter Naylor, Sir Roderick Weir, David Tarrant, Bob McCrindle, and an apology from Dr. Christopher Feltham. We are glad too that Edith Bull, wife of the late Dr. Jim Bull, who served on the trust, is here to represent the long-standing friendship between our two families. Our grandmothers were sisters. The Clary and Molly Hammond and the Bill and Jill Pullen families have given us great support and information for the book project, and that is most appreciated. Of those two families that managed Otairi in a total of more than 50 years. Otiwhiti, sorry. The book has been in progress for about 10 years now, if not longer. So it is a great day for those who have been making it happen. Granddaughters and family historians, Mary Bowling and Jeannie Mitchison, Mary with her store of knowledge and supporting documents, Jeannie who laid the foundation by her work with Russ Harris on the previous Otairi book. The Trust thanks to them both. My fellow trustee Paul Duncan, with 51 years of service to the Trust, has made many trips from his retirement lifestyle block near Wanganui to Otairi to help us proofread, assemble photographs, check and recheck for accuracy as best we could. Thanks, Paul. Vera Hunt, a small, sweet person with a delightful sense of humour and even stronger sense of purpose, has worked tirelessly researching historical facts, finding and talking to ex-Duncan Hospital patients and staff, collecting and collating their stories, and finally supervising the printing of the supplementary booklet. It is available here today, free of charge, printed by the Trust, to faithfully record the tales of the lives of those polio children who were treated in Silver Seam and Puketiro, their home on the hill in Wanganui. 2 years ago, our son gave us the book Bendigo Station, From Dust to Gold, for Christmas. Over an early morning cup of tea on Boxing Day, Vic and I were leafing through the book, marvelling at the photographs and skimming the fascinating story. We turned to each other and said, "This is what our book could be like." Then, though it was Christmas holidays, we rang Random House in Auckland, made an appointment, and took them all our collected material. "Yes," they said, "we will publish that." Great, we thought, that's that. It took a while for us to catch on that that was not that. Contracts to be signed, the charity named, the ghostwriting author chosen, Vera's agreement and cooperation ensured, the photographs, the cover design, the colours featured, names, dates, and on it went. As a bunch of farmers, we have learned a great deal about writing and publishing books. And in terms of stress levels and pressure, it's fair to say, has it to be right up there. John McChrystal, one of Random House's most experienced ghostwriters, has woven all the threads of the story into a wonderful, coloured and lively tale about a piece of land and the lives of people who depended on it. We are really pleased with it and are sure everyone will enjoy it as well. Peter McDermott's lovely photographs have really enhanced the book. And this is Peter. Along with all the historical ones, Peter McDermott's lovely photographs have really enhanced the book, along with all the historical ones. They were chosen from among the boxes of stuff carefully stored here. Even if you don't like reading much, just buy the book to look at the photos. They are stunning. Peter is here today and is official event photographer. So find him if you want family or group photos in the house or the garden, and he will oblige. For a fee, of course, it can't be all on the house. My father's eldest sister, Grace, married Ron Hattrick of Wanganui Riverboat fame. Their granddaughter, and therefore T.A. and Jeannie Duncan's great-granddaughter, has made a wonderful gift to the Trust by providing the afternoon tea here this afternoon. Janice's father, Duncan Hattrick, was secretary and accountant for his grandparents' trust, and she is owner of the Green Plum Cafe in Hunterville and the Sugar Plum Restaurant on State Highway 1 between Hunterville and Martin.
So use them.
She also will need help to pass food and cups of tea to those among us who are more able. Less able. So would the younger members of the family report to Janice after this and help with distributing the afternoon tea? Many former polio patients have made an enormous effort to be here this afternoon, and we are thrilled to have you all here. There are more than 50 of you. The name tags denote where you all fit in. Pink for Duncan Hospital patients, staff and Trust administration. Green for Otiwhiti Station and farm associated people. Blue for Duncan family members, and yellow for friends and wider community support. Sister Vera Allen was one of the original 6 in the medical team who travelled to America to train under Sister Kenny at T.A. and Granny Duncan's expense. On their return, they commenced treating New Zealand children afflicted with dreaded polio disease with the former Australian bush nurses method of intensive neuromuscular physiotherapy. Sister Ellen is here today, and in one of those wonderful circular New Zealand stories, Fiona Morton, her niece, is now married to a great-grandson of T.A. and Jeannie's, one Andrew Morton, who also happens to be my godson. Fiona travelled to Wellington this morning, especially to bring Sister Ellen here. So any patients who were nursed by her, please look for her pink name tag. If you have an interest in going out onto Otiwhiti, you are welcome to drive out to the woolshed and back. It's just not possible to go much further with the way the weather is. Take care on the metal road and enjoy the views of the farm. You will see the erosion and the level of damage from floods and marvel at the capacity of the land to heal and the pasture to re-establish. My very grateful thanks to Charles and his staff on Otiwhiti, who have been marvellous help to us in getting ready for today. The young people in blue and white check shirts and orange parking warden vests are the cadets from the Otiwhiti Agricultural Training School. We are proud of them and proud of the school. Their quarters, the cookhouse and other farm buildings at the front of the station are all open to view this afternoon. And I want to report back. Charles and Joanna are happy for the families who lived in Otiwhiti Homestead in the past to visit their old home if they would like to. It is a wee bit different, but they would love you to go and look at it if you would like to. Now we have some domestic issues. There are 2 portaloos over there behind the redwood tree. 2 disabled waterloos behind, just off the back drive. The 3 inside the house, they're pretty old. They've got 2 of them have got chain pulls, so be very careful they don't all fall to bits in your hand. You might be able to use them. There's 2 over in the cottage and then 1 in the lorry, so make your own arrangements. Actually, I did see Peter coming back from the lorry not so long ago, and Peter, who was there, he was born in that lorry, Peter Rayner. His father was Jack Rayner, who drove Grandpa everywhere after his bad driving had landed him in the river twice. There are historical documents, photo albums on the billiard table just inside the door.
You go, darling.
Yeah, I just about finished. Now, Random House have masterminded the final production and promotion of this lovely book, and it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you their representative here today, Nicola Leggett, a well-known journalist whose byline you may well have seen in many good publications. I'll now hand over to Nicola to launch the book.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. What a fantastic crowd. And I have been to many, many book launches in the 5 years that I've been at Random House, but never one quite as vast as this, and in such a beautiful, beautiful setting. And as David said, thank you so much to those people who have travelled really large distances across the North Island to come today. I think really that the fact that so many people have come is a tribute to the significance of this place, these farms and this valley, and this really wonderful family, the Duncans and the Trust, that they've dedicated generations to supporting. One of the things that I took away from this book when we worked on it is that the philanthropy of the Duncan family is striking, and it's been handed on through the generations, and I'm sure it's not going to stop. But what struck me is that it's not so hard to be a philanthropist, but most philanthropists draw the line when the organisation or the cause that they're supporting is actually having an effect on the well-being of their own family. But the Duncans, despite the drop in farm incomes in the 80s and all the struggles that the farm was facing, always put the trust first. And I think that is the sign of very remarkable New Zealanders, and we really, as a publishing company, salute that. It's no small thing to publish a book, and I'm sorry it caused so much stress, but no pain, no gain. And it's a fantastic book. You will completely love it. And I really especially want to thank Vicky for being so brilliant. It's a great big project, and I know that anyone who does a book never has any idea what it's going to be like when they begin, especially a book like this that covers such a span of history and covers so many different fields of endeavour. It's been absolutely delightful to work with her. And it's been a huge job, and I hope that you all heard her last Sunday with Chris Laidlaw on national radio. If you didn't, you can listen back on the Radio New Zealand website, but she did such a wonderful job of conjuring up for Chris Laidlaw Andrew Duncan coming here as a young man in the 1880s when this was just unbroken, probably quite terrifying looking country, I should have imagined, right up to the work of the Trust in the present day. She did it all effortlessly in 20 minutes, and it was really quite wonderful. This book is, after all, a great story. It's a story that encompasses pioneering spirit, it encompasses heartache, drama, love, vision, and a sense of duty, and we're so proud to have helped in its telling. The book is for sale today. I think a lot of you have bought copies already. Thank you very much to Erin from Hunterville Books. If you would like David or Vicky to sign the book for you, I'm sure that they won't mind at all if you grab them during afternoon tea and get them to sign it for you. But I just wanted to draw your attention to this special launch copy of the book, which David and Vicky are going to pull the ribbon on it shortly. I'm going to leave this copy of the book here on the table with a pen, and I would hope that all of you today will just come and write your names and perhaps a message, and this book can stay in the house and be a memory of what a fantastic day it is today and for generations in the future to treasure. So please do that for David and Vicky. Just also wanted to note that in another act of huge generosity, all royalties for this book will go to the Duncan Trust. We really hope at Random House that this book is going to be hugely successful and that the income that it will generate will carry on down through the years and will inspire others to be generous with their money and also to appreciate the stories of great courage that are in this book. So thank you again so much for coming, and really enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
Now, there's been a request for a speaking slot from an ex-Duncan Hospital patient, also I think president of the Auckland branch of Post-Polio, and the royalties for this book is the Post-Polio Society. But I would like to call on Doreen Chandler to speak.
Hello? Hello, that better? Yeah. Lovely. Well, I did say welcome to Vicky and David, so that's beautiful. And I'm very honoured to be able to speak to you at the celebration of the launching of the book, Otiwhiti Station, and the story of the Duncan Polio Hospital. My name is Doreen Chandler, and I am president of the Auckland Post-Polio Support Group. I contracted polio in 1958 at the age of 27 and found myself in the Auckland Hospital, only able to move my eyelids and with an iron lung outside my room. Just old age has crept up. I had 2 young children and was expecting another, which I lost during the year in hospital. After a year in Auckland, I was fortunate enough to be transferred to the Sir Thomas and Lady Duncan Polio Hospital in Wanganui and spent a year there. During that year, under the care of Mr Bell and the staff, with the help of the Sister Kenny's treatment, I was given the chance to a new life. I had made some wonderful, beautiful friends during this stay, and lots of them continue today. We revisited the Duncan in 1979 for a reunion and also for a surprise party for Mr Bell's 80th birthday. Raymond and I have become very close friends to Bill and his wife Mildred, the family. They visited us in Auckland several times and occasions, and we always had them with them during visits to the family in Wanganui. I owe so much to the Duncan, and I was instrumental in setting up the post-polio network in Hawaii in the early 1990s. And in the year 2000, I was made Companion of the Queen's Service Order for my work for polio survivors and awarded the QSO. I'm immensely indebted to Duncan Hospital, Bill, and his wonderful staff for giving me the incentive and courage to face up to a life with a disability, and after 53 years with polio. The last 13 years, which I have been unable to stand or walk and confined to a power and wheelchair. I feel proud and happy with what I have achieved. We are now great-grandparents and 3 lovely boys. My heartfelt thanks to Sir Thomas and Lady Duncan for the chance of a new life, and to the Duncan Trust for supporting us so beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you, Doreen, for those kind words. But I would like to also endorse about the Bell family. We have had a heartfelt apology from the family and descendants of Bill and Mildred Bell, who could not be here today, and they sent their best wishes for the launch. They are always very much in our mind. They were the Duncan Hospital. Without Bill Bell, we didn't have anything. He was incredible. Now, there's one person I've forgotten to thank, and that's my wife. I hadn't actually forgotten, but I thought I'd just save it to the end so you could all remember. Without what she's done, we wouldn't be here today. She has worked tirelessly for the last 6 months and talked on the phone, talked on the radio, done all the PR, which she says she's out of practice. Well, I don't think she is. But she has been a tremendous stalwart, and on behalf of the trustees, thank you. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thank you all very much.
You naughty man. You very naughty man. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted.
John Vickers would like to say, I've got John Vickers to say grace, and afternoon tea will be served.
Thank you, David. Just let us take a moment to give thanks for the past and ask God's blessing for the future. Let us pray. We give thanks for the work and witness of the Duncan family and the people of this valley. We remember the sad times, the hard times, but we also remember the good times and rejoice. We give thanks for the work of the Duncan Hospital, the generosity of Tom and Jeannie Duncan, and their family, and the continuing work of the Trust. Bless this work and all those involved with it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Afternoon tea will be served.
No, I'm don't look down. You take 5 minutes out tomorrow? Oh, no. I said, Mum, I just Mum the other day. You take money out tomorrow, okay? She would give it to me. Yeah. Oh, no. Don't worry about it. Next time I see you. Oh, he's helping us. Going?
Yeah, if I'm in the right thing, it's going.
Yeah, no, Billy, yeah.
Right, that's the way they're going to go.
Suck it in.
Stay focused, guys.
Are we taking a still?